Hey y'all, and welcome to the Hillbilly Chicken Ranch. I'm Susan, your hostess, and we're going to be canning today. This is January Pantry Challenge 25, y'all. It's an open collaboration till the end of the month. If you want to jump on board, just use the hashtag, tag me in it. There is a playlist that you can add to your description box. So I am going to be canning out of the USDA Complete Guide to Home Canning. This is a 2020 printing of this from the Department of Agriculture. And I have purchased, let me hold this up, put the book down, some frozen mixed vegetables because I need vegetables on my shelf and I don't need vegetable soup, but I might need it later on. And what better way than to use up some inexpensive frozen vegetables. This is the Always Safe brand. It only has 11 grams of carbs in the bag. I mean, per serving. That's a 2/3 cup serving. So that's pretty good. And I'm on a low carb diet, as y'all know. Now the corn, it will raise my sugar up that's in here, but there's not enough of it really to spike it. So it's safe for me. And it will be a side vegetable more than likely. Or it might be making a pot pie or something like that. And I like to have these on hand. I have never canned them before though. I've always used them dehydrated or frozen. So the recipe is found on page 412. Now they number it by chapter and page. So it's 412. And it's mixed vegetables. Now if you want to do this fresh, you can follow their recipe. I'm looking basically at how long do I need to pressure can this. And I am going to do a raw pack. I am going to get these defrosted a little bit in my sink. Then I'm going to get them in canning jars and get them into a cold canner. Cold food, cold jars, cold canner. So the recipe is 6 cups of sliced carrots, 6 cups cut whole kernel sweet corn, and they had a typo there, 6 cups of green beans, 6 cups of shelled lima beans, 4 cups of whole or crushed tomatoes, 4 cups of diced zucchini. I'm not using zucchini and I'm not using the crushed tomatoes. I am strictly using what is in this bag. And since it has the lima beans in here and the corn, I know that I can safely can these with this recipe. If you're not sure, you can go look up each vegetable and see what the time is on it and the pressure and everything, and go by the one that has the highest amount of time. So you can either hot pack or cold pack. They suggest hot packing, and I'm going to actually cold pack these, and pints will be 75 minutes at 10 pounds of pressure, and quarts would be 90 minutes at 10 pounds of pressure. I'm not going to add any extra things to it other than a little bit of salt, and we're going to get these into the jars. So this recipe would make 7 quarts, and you want to leave 1 inch of headspace. So we're going to get this started. Okay, I've got my equipment set up. I've got my jars that are cleaned. I checked the rims, made sure the bottoms, there's no cracks in it. The new ball jars, y'all, I pulled a jar out of my pantry that had dry goods in it, and it cracked. It had a crack at the top, not at the bottom. So y'all check your ball jars when you go in your pantry to make sure that they're not cracked or leaking anything out. I don't know why the new ball jars are doing that, but they are. So we're going to go ahead and get our salt into all our jars. It's 1/2 teaspoon per pint. This is canning salt, and I'm making a mess. I always put a towel down on my counter regardless of whether I'm canning cold or hot items, just to protect my counter. And we've got our salt in there. Let me get rid of this jar and I'll be right back. So my vegetables are semi-defrosted. Now I may have to run water over them again, but I'm going to go ahead and get my jars filled up to the 1-inch headspace, which is right at that lip on the jar, the lower lip. And I'm going to go ahead and use a spoon to try to get some of these into the jar. I don't know how many jars I'm going to get out of this. I did pick up 3 bags. Okay, they look pretty full to me. We're going to go ahead and get some water poured over these, and then I'll wipe down my jars, my rims, with some 5% vinegar. This is water I've had in my refrigerator because we have pulled water in case of power outages. And I want to use up what I've got stored first. And that way we'll have fresh water going into the refrigerator today with whatever I use up. And we also keep water out on our counter now. We've got 2 glass water pitchers that have a spigot. So we have fresh water, and we also have water just pulled for our animals and flushing toilets and so forth. So we're ready on the water. And we didn't go to the store and buy it. We used our tap. We're on well water, so tap is perfectly okay. Let me grab my thing here. Just a little bamboo skewer. Because this is small vegetables, I didn't want to pull out that big paddle thing. And we're just going to deep bubble our jars. Get rid of the bubbles. We may have to top it off with a little more water to get it up to where it should be. Because when you deep bubble, your water goes down. Today I'm going to be eyeballing it. I'm not going to be using my tool because I do know that these jars are 1-inch headspace when you get to this little ring right here. So right there. And I don't see too much need for water. Just a couple of jars needs just a little touch of water. Make sure my vegetables are down in the liquid. And we're just going to top that off just a little bit. That looks good. 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 Alrighty. We're going to wipe the rims and we're going to get our lids applied. It's 4 fingers to center your lids, your flats. Then I'm going to take my band with 2 fingers, and 1 finger is going to go on that flat, and we're going to drop that band on there. Tighten it down finger tight. Make sure it's going on straight. Sometimes they don't go on straight. That one don't want to go on straight. What are you doing? There we go. And then you're going to take your jar and you're just going to tighten it till it doesn't turn anymore. Get it in your canner. And they're in my canner. I'm going to double check. I've already oiled my rim of my canner and my gasket a little bit. I'm going to check the peephole. I'm going to apply the lid and get my canner rolling. So it's cold water, cold jars, a cold vegetables. Not frozen, but cold. They've been defrosted. I have an electric stove. I have a special burner just for canning because this model stove does not, the burner would burn out before the canner got up to temperature. So I know my sweet spot on my stove is around 8, between 7 and 8. I've got that on. I've got my weight ready to go on. I'm going to vent this for 10 minutes. Then we're going to set our timer. Make sure that you have, if you're in air conditioning, that you have all your vents closed because you don't want a sudden change in temperature when you bring your jars out of the canner. No fans, no anything like that. Fresh out of our canner, y'all. 9 pints of mixed vegetables. They were 2-pound bags, so I had purchased 3, so 6 pounds of vegetables yielded me about 10 plus a little bit more than a pint. And so I decided I'm going to go ahead and can that one, along with some peas that I had in my freezer from the Amish community. So the peas, I'm adding a piece of meat to it to bring up the cooking time to 75 minutes, and the pressure stays the same. So we're going to get the rest of those canned. So I should have 10 cans of mixed vegetables and 8 more cans of peas on my pantry shelf by tomorrow morning. These will sit on my counter overnight, and in the morning I'll check the seals, get them washed, labeled, and into the pantry. Thank you, my friends, for watching, and may you be fully blessed.